Hear what God is saying and stay plugged in to what it is that God is saying. Because the things that we are seeing are not what they are. There are things that are under covers that God sees what is hidden under the cover. But before the cover is pulled off, God wants to reveal to you what is hidden under the cover. People want you to see the things that they want you to see. It's a camouflage. It is a mirage. It is a holograph. It's not what it looks like. And as long as you are speaking what the world is speaking and in agreement with the world is saying, you can't hear the truth or see the truth of what it is that God is saying. God is speaking, and in the way that God is speaking, God wants you to hear what God is speaking, because some things look like it's dim, it's dark, but God has a solution to the dim and the dark, and is able to remove the veil from over the things that are hidden. And there are some things that look like light, that looks good, that looks positive, but it is not. It is camouflage. It is not what it appears to be. But many of us are so caught up in what the world is saying and what the world is doing, and in agreement with the world, because we're paying attention to everything that we see that's going on in the world, but we are not paying attention to what's being structured behind the scenes, what is being put into place, what is hiding in plain sight, what is happening. And we're looking at what is happening, but we're seeing what is happening, but we're not seeing what God is saying. We're not seeing beyond the veil. We're not hearing what God is saying, because we're so plugged in and in tune with what the world is saying and what the world is doing, that there are things that are coming into place and into order right under our noses. But because we are not hearing God and listening to God, or we are so focused in on one area that we are not paying attention to another area. We have to speak the language of God. God speaks the language of symbols. God speaks the language of signs. God speaks in plain English. God speaks all languages. God speaks through our tears. But no matter how God is speaking, if we are focused on what the world is doing and the way that the world is moving, we are not paying attention to the things that are coming into place, that are lining up and coming into order, because we are focused on all of the distractions and what it looks like instead of what it is. Being plugged into God, you are going to be the different one. You're going to be the one, when God says a thing, everybody else is in agreement with what it is that they see that's going on in the world, but you are the one who's going to stand out like a sore thumb, and everybody is not going to be in agreement with you, because you are hearing from God. And being that you are the only one in that area who is hearing from God and speaking a different thing, the people don't like you. They feel like there's something wrong with you. How come you are not in agreement with what this is that God is doing? This is definitely God, but you are plugged in, tapped into hearing from God, because your eyes are not focused on what is going on in the world. And because you are not focused on what is going on in the world, even though you see what's going on in the world, you also see what God is showing you. You also hear what God is saying. You also know what God has placed in you and revealed to you and already said to you, that this is not that and that is not this. It looks like this, but it's not that. It's this. So because you are plugged into God and you're seeing what God wants you to see, you can't get caught up in the conversation of the world. God does not want you speaking what the world is speaking. Life and death is in the power of the tongue, but because you are a mouthpiece for God, the words that you speak, they hold weight. And when you are in agreement with what's going on in the world, you decree a thing. You are putting things into position and into place that ought not to be, because your eyes and your focus and your mind and your spirit must be in divine alignment with God's will and God's plan and God's spirit and God's heart and God's voice and God's words that God is speaking unto you. You are not called to fit in. You are called to stand out. You are called to be set apart. But as long as you are caught up in the whirlwind of what's going on in the world. You don't see the order that is being put into place and the things that are in motion and moving that God keeps trying to bring your focus and your attention to, but your mouth keeps speaking the words and giving life to the things that are happening in the world. And I know there are many of you, you're not going to understand what I'm saying. You're going to be like, this lady is crazy. But trust me when I tell you, keep your eyes on God and keep your mouth off of the things that are going on in the world. You can't have your mouth full of the world, but want to speak life and speak from the Spirit of God. God wants you to pay attention so that you see that what is ain't what it appears to be. And so that you will see the thing that's supposed to be, or the thing that is not, is what it is and what it's supposed to be. You have to pay attention to hear and to see and to know what it is that God is saying. Because things look a hot mess, but it's not as bad as it appears to be when you're looking at it from the lens of God. It's a divine setup. God is setting things up, putting things into position, using people like puppets. The stage has been set. The lights are turning on, and the actors are coming together on stage to bring about the thing that needs to go forward before the greater light comes, before the greater thing happens, before the center stage takes place and things are put into position. So you cannot afford to be out of place and try to fit in and speaking in agreement with what the world is saying when God is speaking a whole nother language, doing a whole nother thing, a whole nother way, knowing what's hidden under the covers, knowing what appears to be but is not, knowing what is not but should be or could be or will be, because God is still in control, even when it looks like he's not in control. He who have an ear, let him hear. But your mouth, don't speak what you see the world doing. Speak what God is saying, even if you're the only one. Be blessed.